Supervisors to order this morning. Mr. Hohen, may I have a roll call, please?
Good morning, Supervisor Giomi.
Here.
Supervisor White. Here. Supervisor Horton. Here. Supervisor Schutte.
Here.
Mayor Bagwell.
Here.
You have your quorum.
Thank you so much. We're going to move on to our pastor, Ken Haskins. Why don't you lead us in prayer this morning?
Thank you. Our loving Heavenly Father, we are so thankful for this beautiful, this magnificent day you blessed us with. Help us to make good use of it. And I pray for our mayor and these supervisors. You taught us that the greatest in your kingdom would be the servants of all. And we have elected these to represent us and to be servants to this community. And Father, I thank you for the good work they do. Grant them the wisdom to make good decisions today on behalf of our community. In Jesus' name.
Thank you so much. How about Mr. Schultz? Will you lead us in the pledge, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great. Thank you. Okay, we are now on to opening public comment. We did not have anyone signed up, but is there anyone just in case they didn't sign up? Going. Okay, it's gone. We're now on to agenda item 6A, which is approval of our minutes of July 3, 2025. Does any member have any changes? No? I'll accept a motion for approval, please.
I move to approve the Carson City Board of Supervisors meeting minutes from the 3rd of July, 2025 as presented.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Let the record reflect that was unanimous. We're now on to our consent. I didn't have any requests for any removal for discussion. I'll accept a motion. Supervisor Giomi.
I move to approve the consent agenda consisting of items 7A, 7B, 8A, 9A, 9B, 10A, 10B, 11A, 11B, and 12A through 12H as presented, as well as 13A.
I have a motion and a second for approval of the consent agenda. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. Let the record reflect that was unanimous. We're now on to agenda item 15A, which is a discussion and possible action on a proposed amendment with Ide Bailey for their internal audit services. I will do my disclosure. NRS 281A 420 requires me to disclose a conflict of interest and abstain from voting when I have a disqualifying conflict. My son works for Ide Bailey. Although he does not currently have any direct involvement in Carson City audits, as a partner at Ide Bailey, the benefits he receives may in general be impacted by the awarding of contracts to this firm. Therefore, the independence of judgment of a reasonable person in my position may be materially affected by this relationship. As such, I consider this to be a disqualifying conflict, and I will not be voting on this matter. So, Mayor Pro Tem, please take this item.
All right, we will take up item 15A, and is that Sherry coming to the door? Is Sherry not coming? Mr. City Manager, do you have any comments relative to this?
No, sir, other than just pretty standard extension here for what we're doing. Happy with the services, and if there's any questions, we can certainly follow up. Thank you.
Okay. Does the board have any questions? Any public comment on this item? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the amendment as presented.
Motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say no. And anyone abstaining, say yippee.
Yippee.
Here you go. Motion passes 4-0 with one abstention.
Thank you so much. Okay, we're now going to move on to item 16A. Oh, let me clear it. There it goes. Okay. This is discussion and possible action regarding our final appropriation for the CDBG funding for fiscal year 2026. We still don't, is Sherry not coming today? Did something happen?
unable to get a contact at this time, Mayor, but this is an extension that we've been discussing and no changes to it. So if there's any detailed questions, we can certainly follow up, but nothing of any real concern as we sit here today, standard practice. Thank you.
Thank you. Does any member of the board have a question on this item? No? Does anybody in the public have anything on this item? This is getting too easy. Okay, I'll accept a motion, please.
I move to approve the CDBG funding for fiscal year 2026 as recommended.
I have a motion and a second for approval. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Let the record reflect it's unanimous. We'll now move on to agenda item 17A. This is discussion and possible action on CC Nevada LLC's dedication to Carson City at a no cost for the public use of about 3844 square feet. Mr. Nellis?
Good morning, Madam Mayor and Board. Audrey Link, Real Property Analyst for the record. Items 17A and 17B correspond with Community Development Planning, Item 19A. Item 17A, a proposed right-of-way dedication of a portion of Airport Road consisting of 3,844 square feet, currently utilized by the public as perpetual right-of-way. Item 17B is a proposed storm drain easement consisting of 505 square feet. The existing storm drain outlet is located within a portion of the proposed abandonment, and the city would like to retain its rights to the easement. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to attempt to answer them at this time.
Does any member have a question on 17A? Is there any public comment on agenda item 17A? Okay, I'll accept a motion. Supervisor Shute.
I move to accept the dedication as presented and authorize the mayor to sign the dedication acceptance documents.
I have a motion and a second for approval. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Let the record reflect that was unanimous. I'm opening now agenda item 17B. We heard some discussion already. Is there any further questions from any members of the board on this item? No? Is there any public comment on 17B? Okay, I'll accept a motion. Supervisor Giomi.
I move to approve the easement as presented.
I have a motion and a second for approval. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Let the record reflect it was unanimous. We're now on to agenda item 18A, which is Resolution 2025-R-22. This is a resolution to discontinue the RAC as a formal advisory board. Is Ms. Hicks, anything of change, significance, discussion?
Thank you, Mayor. Stephanie Hicks, Deputy City Manager. No changes. This is just a follow-up to the first reading that was brought forward on July 3rd. So another item on this agenda further down will be for the second reading. However, the purpose of this is to recommend discontinuation of the RAC, and the ordinance is changing those responsibilities to the authority of the Director of Community Development,
As previously discussed.
as previously discussed.
Do we have any further discussion or questions on this side? It's what we talked about. Any members of the public? No? Okay, I'll accept a motion, please. Supervisor White?
I move to adopt resolution number 2025-R-22.
I have a motion and a second for approval. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. Let the record reflect it was unanimous. We're now on to agenda item 19A, discussion and possible action on an application from CC Nevada LLCs for an abandonment of a public right-of-way on Lampa Ms. Ferris, would you tell us what's going on here, please?
Sure, thank you. Heather Ferris for the record. So the abandonment area is located on the west side of Airport Road between Florentine and Desatoya Drive. The area is on vacant land and are remainders of roadway easements and public right-of-way that are no longer necessary to provide access to the parcel due to the realignment of Airport Road. The roadway easement is shown here in green, and the right-of-way is shown in yellow, blue, and purple. So as you can see in Area 1A, a portion of the roadway easement overlaps with Airport Road. And as you just took action, that portion was offered for dedication and has now been accepted by the board. So these are the official exhibits showing the area to be abandoned as well as the area to be dedicated, which is shown in orange here. The abandonment area will be absorbed into the adjacent parcels on the west side of Airport Road. The Planning Commission was able to make the required findings and is recommending approval of the abandonment subject to the 6 conditions of approval, including a requirement for the establishment of easements for Southwest gas infrastructure and storm drain outfall, a requirement for the lot line adjustment to either be recorded prior to the recordation of the abandonment, or alternatively, they could revise their legal description to not rely on the resultant parcels from the lot line adjustment, and a requirement for the dedication of public right-of-way for Airport Road, which was just completed. The Southwest gas easement was determined not to be necessary with this abandonment following the Planning Commission meeting, as the easement is required further to the south on the property, and that will be handled through their upcoming parcel map, which is currently in review with staff. As we discussed, the right-of-way dedication has been handled. The storm drain easement has also been handled here today, and the lot line adjustment has been reviewed, and the applicant is currently obtaining signatures prior to recording. So we are moving down the road towards being able to record this abandonment. Staff has also been made aware of the late material that we received regarding the Buckeye Channel. And this abandonment does not involve the channel. Any future development of the site will stay within the limits, stay outside of the limits of the existing channel, except for any future roadway crossing which may be required, and appropriate permits and oversight would be with the city as well as the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Questions?
Does any member have a question? Supervisor White?
Thank you. If we look on page 548 of our agenda, at the last whereas, it states there that we have vacation and abandonment, particularly described on attachment A, B, and C. When I look at Exhibit C from the Planning Commission's agenda item, I don't see where there's anything designated to be abandoned in Exhibit C. So can somebody get me squared away on that? It's on page 17 of the Planning Commission agenda.
I'm looking.
It's just this.
What?
That's okay.
No, I don't have a hard copy here.
So it's the resultant parcel legal description.
Do I not?
It's the resultant parcel legal description is Exhibit C. So
Oh, I got you, okay.
Yeah.
So then, on that attachments or Exhibit C, what you're representing there then is the full legal description of the property after all of the abandonments.
Correct, following the abandonment.
Okay.
That's what's
Yes.
left.
Thank you
Okay.
for your patience.
Thank you.
Anybody have
And
any
then,
questions? Oh, go ahead.
on page 549, you spoke to this briefly. 2 and 4, talking about utility easements and such. Now, when I read the planning commission packet, it talks about oil leases on the property. Are there oil leases on the property?
Not that I'm aware of. However, we do have the applicant's representative here, and he may be able to shed some light on that.
Please identify yourself. for the
Kevin
record. You
Allmeter.
can Let go.
Kevin Allmeter, Wood Rogers. I represent the landowner as a consultant.
So are there oil leases, was Mr.,
There's not oil or
there you go.
oil leases on the property.
Okay.
So just standard language to,
On page 56 of that document, at number 20, it talks about a, excuse me, East Carson Improvement District. I wasn't aware that we had an improvement district. Is there currently an East Carson Improvement District? Let me scroll through here. I'll let you know.
The answer is no, we do not have an East Carson Improvement District. And so what we can do is if that's appearing in documents to be recorded, we can eliminate that wording.
Okay. That's all I have.
Supervisor Giomi.
Supervisor White covered a couple of my questions. The improvement district was one of mine as well. Can you put up the other map, the previous one? Or maybe the previous, there you go. So a lot of the questions or comments that I've received are that we have folks who don't want us to abandon this right-of-way, and I think there's some confusion that we currently own the land. We do not own this land. We own an easement. Is that a fair statement?
So shown here in green, there is an easement. The portion that is a right-of-way is the yellow, blue, and that tiny little bit of purple. So there's both an easement and right-of-way. So we do own the yellow, the blue, and the purple. The green is the easement.
But we own the right-of-way, not the underlying land. We own the right to take action on that land, but not the land itself.
Well, I would ask Robert if he's still here to speak to exactly what right-of-way is, but my understanding is that we own that and have rights to that. It's not the same as an easement.
Hi.
Good morning, Mayor and board members. For the record, Robert Nellis, City Asset Services Manager. Right-of-way is a stronger form of, it's not a mere easement, but right-of-way does allow us to actually essentially have fee title to that property if it's needed for right-of-way. I don't know if that was ever accepted or granted to the board as fee title right-of-way. I assume it has been, but I don't know the history of those two, blue and the yellow area.
Okay. Hope, did you have a comment?
It's a tiny bit off the topic, but I think it's what the public comment said, and that's what I'd like to speak to. And I think Heather did speak to it. The public comment had a lot of concern that this action before you today was going to de facto allow for construction and improvements and the removal and the destruction of wetlands and things that are under the jurisdiction of the Army Corps of Engineers. I want to be clear, that's not the case. What's before you today is a request of an abandonment of right-of-way and easements that the city doesn't use. It's weird. It's like, that's been there. We've been looking at this for years. When they identified the right-of-way for Airport Road, it was too big. It's stuff we don't use. It's land we're not using. You'll have on your next item rezoning. That also will not authorize improvements or the destruction of wetlands. When the project comes in, those wetlands will be protected, or if there is an improvement like a road on them, it will go through the Army Corps of Engineers. So I think really what the comments, as I read them from the public, was a concern that this was sort of an attempt to destroy wetlands. And I want to be clear that that is not the case. This is extra right-of-way. You all have seen other cases where we have right-of-way that the city doesn't use or easements that the city doesn't use. And that's what's before you today. Thank you.
And this action is consistent with what we've done in those other cases where we don't have a need for the intended purpose. The intended purpose was a road. We're not going to build a road here. And so it isn't right for us to maintain ownership of something we're not using. So thank you. I think you cleared up my questions. Thank you.
Supervisor Shooty.
Thank you. And I think Supervisor Giomi just articulated the answer to what I was hoping to have on the record. My question was, what is the benefit to the city by abandoning this? If the city doesn't use it, is that in and of itself a problem? So those were my questions, and if there's any comments to that, that would be helpful.
I don't think I have anything additional to add beyond what Hope's already indicated.
Supervisor Horton.
Well, as long as we're on the clarification train, that waterway there is a drainage ditch. That the drainage from that subdivision, the apartments to the north, that entire area drains through that drainage ditch. And that's what that is, just for clarification.
I think there was also a question that people don't understand. When it looks like you're abandoning stuff, why aren't we charging for it? And so I think it's good to put on the record that research is always done, and it comes back to how we obtained it. So if we bought it and paid for it, we can sell it and recover the money. But if we didn't, we can't charge for something we got for free. And so this just goes to the adjacent landowners, but it now becomes taxable. That's another issue here, and that's one of the reasons that we review parcels and look at our right-of-ways and everything, because if we're not utilizing them, there's no rationale for not collecting a tax on that property, because if we keep it in ours, then there's no funding. And also, we shouldn't just keep property for the sake of it unless it has a value. And so that, I think, is what we're all after here. Is there any value of something that the city would be doing with this in the future? And we've made the decision that it doesn't fit in any plan that we have. And
That's
therefore, it should be put back into the system. I guess that's right. Did I
That's
clarify
correct.
that correctly?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Supervisor White?
Thanks again. I did miss one of my questions. On page 23 of that Planning Commission packet, there is a map there showing abandonment area 3. That's a long red stripe indicating apparently where Lampa Lane is going to go in the future. We are not considering that today. Is that correct?
That is not being considered today. That was applied for at the same time, but there's some additional work that needs to be done for that particular abandonment. So the applicant's continuing to work on that, and you'll see that at a future meeting, probably in a couple of months.
Okay, thank you.
Supervisor Shooty?
Hi, thank you. One of the public comments actually in support of this, a question was brought up about abandoning the right-of-way that would or could potentially extend Desatoya. Is there any discussion or concern about opportunities for that? And would abandoning this land interfere with options for Desatoya?
So that's something that would be considered, I think, with the future abandonment that you guys will see in a couple of months. But what they're considering, what the applicants are considering for future development of this site is a total realignment. So there would not be a connection to Desatoya.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't see any further questions. Is there any public comment on this item? Okay, are somebody ready to make a motion? Supervisor Giomi?
Gotta go back, sorry, stand by. I move to approve, that's the one we're on, right, 19A, sorry. I move to approve the abandonment as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Let the record reflect it was unanimous. Okay, we're now on to agenda item 19B, discussion and possible action on regarding a request from CC Nevada LLC to adopt on second reading. Mr. Hohen, may I have the title, please?
2025-4, Bill Number 104, an ordinance relating to zoning, changing the zoning of properties within Lampa Ranch North Specific Plan area from approximately 18.54 acres of single-family residential, 6,000 square foot, and .13 acres of public community to multifamily apartment on a site approximately 24.07 acres in size, located at 699 North Lampa Lane. Assessor parcel numbers 010-542-01 and 010-741-04, and providing other matters properly relating thereto.
Thank you so much. Ms. Manzo, you want to tell us what's happening on this item, please?
Thank you, Heather Manzo for the record. So this is a second reading of an ordinance that was introduced in the beginning of July, and there have been no changes to that draft between the first reading and today.
Is there any questions? Anybody?
Comment.
Comment? Supervisor Giomi?
Just wanted to confirm Hope's comments from the last one, that this is simply matching the zoning to the underlying master plan designation, and no entitlements are granted, no approvals are happening beyond changing the zoning. They're not going to start building Monday morning. That they have a whole another process to go through, correct?
That's absolutely right. This is just a change to the color on the map to conform with the underlying master plan.
Thank you.
Okay.
I would also like to encourage the public who would like to learn more about what a specific plan area is to visit carson.org, then master plan, and you can really read about what it is, what it isn't, and the benefits of it.
Further questions? No? Is there any public comment on this item? No? I'll accept a motion. Supervisor Horton?
I move to adopt on second reading Bill Number 104, Ordinance Number 2025-4.
I have a motion and a second for approval. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say no.
No.
Let the record reflect that was 4 yeses and 1 no by Supervisor White. Thank you. Let me get this one done. Okay, we're now on to agenda item 19C. Discussion and possible action to adopt again on second reading Bill Number 105. Mr. Hohen, may I have the title, please?
2025-5, Bill Number 105, an ordinance relating to street vending, removing from the jurisdiction of the Redevelopment Advisory Citizens Committee the approval of street vending and street vendor carts, authorizing the Director of Community Development Department to approve street vending and street vendor carts, and providing other matters properly relating thereto.
Thank you so much. This is again on second reading. Did we have any public comment or anything that came in or anything to make you take another look?
No.
Nothing? Anybody have any questions? No? A motion, Supervisor White.
Thank you. I move to adopt on second reading Bill number 105, ordinance number 2025-5.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for approval. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Let the record reflect that was unanimous. Thank you so much, and thank you to all the years and years of the RAC members. Just to say thank you for their work. Okay, we're now on to our non-action items. Does anybody have anything they want to share with everyone?
I'll make a brief announcement.
Supervisor White?
There will definitely be a haunted prison this fall. Contracts are in place and we're moving forward.
Okay. I think that's going to be a hit. I just somehow know it.
Well, if halfway to Halloween was any indication, I can assure you this will be big.
Perfect. Supervisor Shooty?
I just want to congratulate the Sheriff's Department on another Sheriff's Night Out. What a great event, and just wonderful participation as always. A lot of nonprofits there. The kiddos just loved seeing the helicopter coming in. It was great to see the Jack bus there, and that would seem to be a popular destination. So kudos to everybody who presented and participated.
Yesterday, I had the privilege of representing us for the Tahoe Summit. That's an annual thing that comes together from all the jurisdictions, and it's really, I think it's actually really phenomenal to see so many jurisdictions that are able to put aside sometimes their personal jurisdictions issues to see the big picture of keeping Tahoe clean and accessible to people for a very long time. So it really was a wonderful setting up at the 4-H camp up there. And it's like, boy, it'd been like, I don't have to admit, like 40 years since I'd been there. And it's just as beautiful and preserved as it was all those years ago. But it's a good team working together with California. And I know that's hard for anyone to say, but they really are as invested in retaining and keeping Lake Tahoe clean and usable. So I was happy to do that yesterday. Nothing else? Oh, this is way too easy. Okay, we're going to move to agenda item 21. Is there any final public comment? I know, I'm like, there's no one here to have any. Okay, so we will move to agenda item 22. There's no objection? We are adjourned. Thank you for a good meeting.